G'day there guys, Connie here again, and we're back with some more stories from Reddit. As always, if you enjoy these videos, be sure to hit like and subscribe, and also the notification bell so you never miss an episode. Alrighty, let's get right into it. Okay folks, we're on relationship advice. This one was written by a throwaway account, and it's titled, Me and my girlfriend got into an argument after a round of golf. How do I convince her I wasn't being malicious? Background. So I, 31 male, have recently started dating a girl, 26, that I like a lot. Like, say 4 months. Both of us are really close to our families and spend a lot of time with them, so it was basically impossible for our families not to meet pretty early. Like, I watch my niece 2 days a week, and my mum does it the other days and helps out on my days. Our families are pretty similar, standard, boring, suburban, Midwestern families, and everyone gets along. So, to the story. My girlfriend and her dad invited my dad and I to go golfing with them. It's been crazy nice where I live, and courses are open right now where they usually are closed for the winter, and they wanted to take advantage. They knew we both played golf, and the two of them were both very into golf. Like her high school and college trophies showing around their parents' house. It's really sweet. Golf is pretty much their main hobby. So here's some more info about me. I do not look like I golf at all. I'm covered in tattoos, I have long hair, my style is more punky than country club. I also am really good at golf. I personally enjoy the activities surrounding golf more than actually playing golf itself though. I like drinking a few beers and walking the course with friends more than practicing golf. I've done enough practice for 10 lifetimes, I promise you. My grandpa on my dad's side started a private golf club in the 50s. My grandpa on my mum's side was a golf coach. My dad played at a top university and is currently a top 50 senior golfer in the world. I've spent more time on a golf course than should be accepted by society. Literally, my daycare growing up during summer was just to drop me off at the club until my dad was done with work. So about 9 hours a day, 36 holes, 7 days a week, all summer. By the time high school came around, it felt more like torture than a hobby or leisure activity. So I stopped playing. But once you learn something so thoroughly and so young, it doesn't go away. Anyway, I've told my girlfriend my thoughts on golf before, and that I mostly like the exercise, being outside, and cold beverages with friends, but I would still love to go with her anytime. I think this must have translated into, I'm not very good at golf, for her or something. Even before the first hole was over, I could tell something was up. Girlfriend wasn't ignoring me, but was definitely more distant. I just thought maybe she likes to focus more on the golf than the social aspects during a round, and that's fine. Going into this, I saw today as an opportunity to bond with her dad, and not really about us, if that makes sense. So I just gave her space and did my best to get to know the guy, and we did get to know each other better, and I think we have a pretty great round. Well, the distance covered until we got to my house, and she exploded at me. We haven't really had a fight before, and she's not quick to anger. She was really mad, and saying things like, why would I lie to her about something so dumb, and you were trying to make me look stupid and make her family look bad, etc., etc. I was flabbergasted. I mean, first fights are interesting to navigate, but this was something else. She eventually left as she needed to cool off, but she's been distant and curt with me since. That was Sunday. During our fight, I was just so caught off guard I didn't really say much, which I don't think helped. We've been kinda just ignoring the situation, which is definitely not working at all. I really like her and want to move past this. Other than this fight, she's been so sweet and kind and loving. She's the best. I'm going to talk to her later tonight about this, but I'm not really sure what to say. How do I convince her that I wasn't hiding my golf ability to be malicious or mean? I just don't like golf. It just sounds so ridiculous and dumb reading over this to me, but I don't want to mess this up. Man, honestly, I think all OP needs to do is just tell his girlfriend what he told us in this post. It's not that hard. Is she overreacting? Yeah, probably, but he just needs to be honest with her. Let's go to the comments. If you'd mentioned a quarter as much to your girlfriend as you wrote in your post, you wouldn't be in this position. How could none of your or your family's relationships with golf not have come up once, with a girl who has golf trophies all over her house? That's insane. How embarrassing for her to be in the dark about that in front of her family. If this isn't a crap post, tell her what you told us and apologize for being clueless. It's also insane that she said you were trying to make her family look bad. Opie says, most of this was over 20 years ago. It just isn't who I am today. She knows my dad played in the US and British Senior AM. I guess I just don't talk about myself or my past that much. Like, hey, by the way, I'm a +2 handicap, just isn't a conversation I would have. Isn't a conversation I would have. Well, it should be when you date a golfer. Very bizarre thing to not mention you played enough in the past to be good, not to mention it was a big part of your life. It's not like you have to announce your handicap as a conversation opener. He replies, she knew I was on the golf team when I was in 7th grade, which kinda insinuates I'm good. She knows my dad and brother are both extremely good. Yeah, I don't know, the more I'm talking with people on here, I'm thinking I should have just talked about it earlier. But golf is such a joy in her life, and for me, it was not the same. So I would just kind of talk about her experience with golf, or bring up parallels from my brother's and dad experience. Both play at an extremely high amateur level, and keep conversations light. I don't know, just for her to be talking about how much she loved it, I just didn't want to respond with, oh yeah, I had more conversations with the waitresses at my club than my parents during summer. I'm a stick, by the way. Through no autonomy of my own, my swing is frickin' gorgeous. Like, I obviously know that's an extreme, but it's kinda hard to start that conversation without going all the way through it. And while 4 months is a long time, I don't know if we're quite at that stage of the relationship. Is it usual for someone to still be good at it after 20 years of not practicing? I wouldn't think that would be the case in most sports, but I admittedly know nothing about golf. He replies, so golf is kinda weird. It's pretty much strictly a skill sport. Like sure, if you're stronger and more athletic, you can probably get more out of your swing, but if you're able to move somewhat freely, you can play golf. So basically, I already have all the skills in the form of muscle memory. I mean knowledge too. My grandpa was a golf coach. I know golf. So when I quit was right before puberty basically. For golfers, sometimes there's a small window where if you play a lot, you're actually a little better before puberty than during. The mistakes you make are smaller because you aren't hitting the ball as far. It's basically playing for pars and getting them almost every time, and occasionally having a shot at birdie on some of the shorter holes. You are learning how to score. You won't have great shots that save you. You have to be incredibly consistent. After puberty though, you play for birdies. Higher risk, higher reward. So I was basically a scratch golfer before puberty. For a while after, I was a little worse than that, but not much, and then when I was 18-ish and got better again as I got more used to my body and started playing at about a +2. This is really interesting. It's one of those things that happens in a relationship that you should really pay attention to, not in terms of the subject matter of the fight, but rather in terms of how everyone handles the aftermath. So, you're 31, you sound pretty chill. I'm assuming you've been in a handful of relationships before, so you may be inclined to apologize or whatever and hope she cools off. If so, fine. Try that tactic and see what happens. But I'd suggest paying attention to her response. It's going to tell you a ton of information about how she handles disappointment, frustration, and anger. Like, does she get sullen and pouty? Does she hold grudges? Does she scream and yell and then a day later pretend like nothing happened? Whatever your tactic of approaching this, I wish you well, but just pay attention to how she responds and file that away for the future. And for what it's worth, I'd sort of suggest you open with a soft apology. Say, hey, I know you think I misled you out there. I'm so sorry, that was never my intention. I used to play golf a ton when I was growing up, and the skill set stuck with me. I still mostly enjoy the social aspect of it, and I really enjoyed getting to know your dad. I get that you were angry with me. I'd love to have a talk about how we can make this better though. I really like you, and I don't want this to ruin anything. And Opie replies, yes, this was the avenue I'm planning on going. At this point, I'm not sure that she isn't just embarrassed how she responded, but she can be a bit stubborn. But I've always been kind of a whatever, doesn't matter to me kind of person, so her being a little more ready to stick to her guns has been a good thing for me. Alright, enough of the comments, let's go to an update, the next day. So, last night we talked about what had happened, my part in not really telling her about my history with golf, and her reaction to it. She started crying and apologizing immediately, which kinda surprised me because I've never seen her cry before, and explained things from her end. So, on the way to the course, she rode with her dad there and me home. Her dad and her had a bet. What do you think he's gonna shoot? She started the bet, so she decided the line and he got to pick over or under. The stakes? Cleaning up the winter poop from their dogs after the snow thaws. Pretty high stakes, lol. So she said 85, and he said, easiest under of my life. Haha, get your poop scoop ready. They do not in fact have a poop scoop. So I guess his response, paired along with my play, had been bothering her all day, but he didn't say anything about it, so it was kinda just brewing all day. But she was positive that her dad knew I was a good golfer, and that she did not. So she didn't know if I was just doing this to help her dad not to have to clean up the poop, or if she was just missing something obvious that would have clued her in. Because why would her dad know that about me, but not her? She just felt like everyone was in on it, and she was being made into a fool for no reason. Well, then the explosion happened. She said she just let her imagination get the best of her, and that she wasn't even being rational, and she knows that. She apologized for all of that. Afterwards, she called her dad, and he kind of realized he'd messed up, and told her he knew about me. So she has an older brother 4 years older than me, who also happened to play golf. The reason he remembered me, even after close to 20 years? Well, he got into a fight with my grandpa at a JPGA tournament, lol. Not like a fist fight, but a pretty heated argument. Which yeah, that makes sense, because that would happen quite often. Like seriously, 1 out of 4 events I played in. I was 13 and still playing competitively, and her brother was 17 and pretty good. I would play in the 14 to 7-year-old division because the 10 to 13 division had different rules that weren't golf. Circle 10s if you score too high, just small changes to keep pace of play going for worse players. Anyway, her brother was in my group, and I wasn't playing that great, and my grandpa was riding with me the whole time. My brother was in college at the time, and playing in the biggest amateur events in the country, which is a huge time commitment. My parents would go and watch these, so I would stay with my grandparents, so grandpa would take me to things like this. Anyway, I guess my grandpa was laying into me in front of everyone, and her dad just lost it, so they got into a huge shouting match. He wasn't sure I was that kid right away, but after we were friends on Facebook, he did some sleuthing and found a pic of my whole family, and sure enough, there was my grandpa. After hearing this, my girlfriend was kinda devastated. Embarrassed, sad for me, just generally distraught. But she didn't know what to say and how to apologize correctly because it was clear I didn't really want to talk about that point of my life yet, so she just tried to ignore it, but it made her come across distant. So we just talked about it all. About how I eventually hated golf back then, but she always talked about the good times she had with her family playing it growing up, and I didn't want to tinge those memories with my experiences. We hugged, cried, and laughed. Called in sick today because it took up most of the night, but I think we're in a great spot. Her dad felt really bad, as he didn't realize how much it actually bothered my girlfriend originally, and he kind of belatedly realized that while it was just a stupid and embarrassing yet very memorable interaction for him, not many times do you have to fight at a kid's golf event with an 80-plus-year-old man. For me, that was kind of a microcosm of my life at the time. Like, hey kid, remember that time when you were verbally abused publicly and then someone stood up for you and started a huge fight? Man, what silly times. It isn't a conversation he was willing to jump into, so he just kinda kept it to himself. And he didn't think his daughter would make a connection with the bet. He thought he would just get some free yard work and get off scot-free. So all is well, and the 3 of us are cleaning up poop this weekend, lol. I did thank him for sticking up for me back then, and it actually meant a lot to me at the time when people would do that. He just asked that if we have kids one day, maybe keep Grandpa away from the sporting events, lol. Wow, there you go. I don't know about you guys, but I was not predicting that ending. One final comment says, yeah, that update with the story of being A, left behind by the parents every time his brother had a competitive tournament, which I'm guessing was almost every weekend, and B, getting yelled at by your grandpa, I'm assuming more than just that one time. It's very understandable he got sick of golf and also didn't want to talk about it or himself in regards to golf with many people. Still though, good lesson for him and her. Just talk with each other. Communication prevents many unnecessary arguments. Ain't that the truth? Anyway guys, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let me know in the comments below. Maybe you got a similar story you'd like to share. Otherwise, that's it from that one, and we'll move on to the next story. Okay, we're on the same subreddit. This one was also written by a throwaway account, and it's titled, My boyfriend planned a road trip with me and his 3 friends. I have been uninvited. For starters, my boyfriend and I have been dating for 4 years. Our anniversary was in April, and for it we had planned to do a road trip. Obviously that couldn't happen. This was written in May 2020, so Opie's referring to COVID here. Last month he had brought up the idea of a road trip with me, his friends, 22 female and 24 male, and his friend's girlfriend, 24 female. This would be happening next year. I thought this was a good idea, as I'm friends with his male friend and his girlfriend, but not necessarily his female friend. To tell you the truth, I've always been quite wary of their relationship. Previous boyfriend cheated on me and I've still got some insecurities I need to sort out. I hadn't heard more about it since the trip was brought up in the first place, so I asked my boyfriend if it would still be going ahead. He said they had decided it would be a no girlfriends allowed trip. I was fine with that. Me and him could always go ourselves another time, and I know friends need time to hang out without their partners. Nothing more was said about it until today when I happened to glance at his screen and saw that they'd made a group chat and were talking about it. I also saw his friend's girlfriend was messaging in it. I asked him why she was in it if she's not going. He got defensive and instantly turned his screen away from me. I asked him why he did that and he said it's a private conversation. I then asked if I could look through the messages. I found out that she is still invited and it's just me who's been uninvited. I would understand it if she was one of his friends, but she's actually not. In fact, I haven't heard him say one nice word about her. I guess my boyfriend just doesn't want me there, but is fine with someone he dislikes. I feel so left out, as I was made to believe I was part of this friendship group, but none of them have even asked me why I'm not going. I don't know if I've misconstrued the situation and have made a big deal out of nothing, but I'm just incredibly hurt by this, as it's not exactly fair she gets to go when I can't. I'm planning on talking to him about it tomorrow, but I just want to get advice. Yeah, it doesn't look good on surface level, does it? And I don't think there's any reason for this happening that OP is going to like at all. Let's go to the comments. Your boyfriend is not being a stand-up guy here, and that should concern you. If a bunch of my buddies said they didn't want my wife along on a trip but were taking theirs, I'd tell them to have a good time and send a postcard. Dude should always stick up for his partner. Always. She replies, "Yup, if this was the other way around, I'd be adamant my boyfriend got to go." Has OP met the friends or the other girl? We're not exactly friends, but I've been out with them before. Not his female friend. His friend's girlfriend doesn't know the female friend either, but both guys, my boyfriend and his friend, are friends with her. You haven't even met this other girl? She's probably the one who doesn't want you along. Might be inappropriate talk and actions. Your boyfriend is probably dating the girl friend, or wants to be. Okay, now for an update, 4 days later. I really hesitated in posting an update, but I've received many messages inquiring about it. Thank you to everyone who gave advice. I confronted my boyfriend the day after posting this. Turns out he didn't want to tell me that his friend's girlfriend despises me. I was shocked at this, as when we've been around her, she's been nothing but nice to me. He showed me a private message she had sent him and she had demanded I didn't go on the trip. She also told him I was cheating on him. I was really shocked, so I messaged her and she said that she was uncomfortable with her boyfriend being around me as I was really flirty around him the last time we hung out. That's absolutely not true. If I was being flirty, don't you think my boyfriend would have seen that? Plus, I have enough respect for my boyfriend that I absolutely would not do that, ever. My boyfriend's told me stories in the past about how his friend's girlfriend is very controlling and paranoid about other girls and won't even let him have female friends. I just didn't think she'd act that way with me. The only thing I can think of is when we last hung out, I accidentally touched his leg as we were at a cramped booth together, so she's definitely reaching there. Also, during that night, she made a huge deal about him messaging another girl so much, so we had to leave early as she demanded to go home. My boyfriend kept what she had sent him to himself as he didn't want to cause any more rifts. He only has the 2 friends. He made the excuse up so as to not hurt my feelings. I get it, I do, but I'm an adult and I can handle someone disliking me. He thought he was sparing my feelings, but why he thought I would be more hurt by someone I barely know disliking me than from being essentially uninvited from our anniversary trip is beyond me. It feels as if he took her side in it. I know he hates confrontation, and that's fine for him, but I want a boyfriend who can stand up for me. He doesn't even know her, for God's sake. I'm assuming he didn't want to lose his friend. His girlfriend is very manipulative. To tell you the truth, I also thought he was planning on hooking up with his female friend. With 2 guys and 2 girls going, how could I not think that? I'm not breaking up with him. We talked about it and he's not going on the trip. He's told his male friend the situation and he's likely going to break up with his girlfriend as this isn't the first time she's done this. If anything's unclear, I apologize. It's a whole crap show. I don't know. The fact that it's gotten to this point for him to say that he's not going on the trip is still problematic to me. One comment says, WTF, he uninvited you because his friend's girlfriend doesn't like you? He didn't even stick up for you? What a spineless SOB. He let her trash talk you. He was more considerate of her feelings over yours and took her side. This is not okay. Ugh, I'm so mad for you. It doesn't matter if she doesn't like you. However, your boyfriend should not uninvite his own girlfriend just because his friend's girlfriend doesn't like you. He should have backed out of the trip the moment his friends didn't want you there. Instead, he uninvited you, lied, and covered it up for her. He was planning to go without you. He is not a good boyfriend. What kind of boyfriend prioritizes his friend's girlfriend over his own? This says a lot about him. I'd break up with my boyfriend if I was in your position. OP replies, this is the first time anything like this has happened. We've had a good relationship up until this point. I'm giving him another chance. If he does something else, then I'm obviously leaving. So, let me get this straight. It was easier to essentially lie to you saying it's just him and his friends. Then when you saw the group chat, he still continued to keep you in the dark, leading you to believe he may potentially cheat on you. And then, when you finally confronted him, he told you that his friend's girlfriend was chatting crap about you and he did nothing to stand up for you. Instead, he decided to make you look like an idiot and disinvite you, bending over backwards for someone else's girlfriend. And you're okay with that? She replies, this comment made me break up with him. And the final update. I broke up with him. I've been reading all the comments on both posts and came to the realization that I'm unhappy, and that's likely not going to change unless I do something about it. Hallelujah, we got there in the end. I mean, the fact that it was supposed to be an anniversary trip just makes it all the more worse, doesn't it? This guy just did not respect OP, and I'm glad she realized that in the end. Anyway guys, that's it for that story, and that's it from me today. Hope you guys enjoyed those stories, thanks for making it to the end, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day. Cheers.